Hey Razmanites, how's it going? Well, I realized something after doing the last State of the Cincinnati Reds address, the first one, and that is that if I'm going to effectively do this every week, I will need to shoot the video piece by piece so that I don't forget the details of each game that I'm covering. So expect outfit changes throughout these episodes and possible angle changes, although I will do my best to have the camera in the same spot every time. But welcome to the State of the Cincinnati Reds address, Week 2, 2010, on the Razman's Reality. Alright, so last night the Reds embarked on their first in a 7-game road trip as they took on the Florida Marlins. It was Ricky Nolasco for the Marlins versus Johnny Cueto for the Reds, and what a battle it was. Cueto did not have his best stuff by any means. To be quite honest with you, this is the worst I've seen him look, except for when it came out that he had the injury last year. However, that being said, Cueto still did what he could to keep the Reds in the game. That was key. Final score in this one, I believe, was 6-5, if I'm wrong, as it was the case in the last edition. All the scores will be on the bottom of the screen and overlay. But I say I might be wrong because this one lasted a while. It was a 10-inning affair, and combined with Reds live coverage, which is the pre- and post-game show name that is shown on Fox Sports Ohio, coverage didn't actually end till 11:30. How were the Reds able to be on the smiling side of the scoreboard on this night? Well, they rolled themselves to victory, or should I say roll-in themselves to victory. That's right. Many people, myself included, were skeptical about the Edwin Encarnacion for Scott Rowland trade last year when Rowland was a member of the Toronto Blue Jays, because we didn't know if he could be as effective as he was when he terrorized the Reds as a member of the St. Louis Cardinals. Well, he tore it up for the Reds when he was healthy last year, and last night he carried the Reds to victory on the back of a home run in the 3rd inning, a home run in the 5th inning, and a single that drove in the go-ahead run from 2nd in the 10th inning, incidentally set up by cleanup hitter Brandon Phillips, who played the ultimate antithesis of team baseball by actually executing 2 bunts in the game. When is the last time you've ever seen a cleanup hitter play little ball? And it just shows how committed these Reds are to being a team, which is the benchmark of success. And it also shows that Dusty Baker is not afraid to let his players, or even to ask his players, point blank. It might have been a sign, I don't know. But he clearly is a player's manager, and he knows what it takes to win. So I hope that the Reds are able to live up to the expectations that I have for them, and that every Reds fan has for them this year, because Dusty Baker is on the last year of his deal, and I don't want to see him have his legs cut out from underneath him before he can get anything going, like he did somewhat in San Francisco, and absolutely the way he did as manager of the Cubs. Well, you know what the old saying is about the best laid plans. The plan to talk about every game ASAP after every game to make this series a little easier on myself. I wasn't able to turn the camera on Wednesday morning because the people who own my apartment complex decided over the last 2 days that they were going to make repairs or replace or whatever the case was to the pool that's right outside my window. So any attempt at filming or even audio recording, had I chosen to go that route yesterday, was all for naught. You may have seen the text video on the 5 Awesome Rejects channel. So that means today, on Thursday, right before Thursday's game, we have to talk about Tuesday and Wednesday's game. So let's quickly do that the best that I can from memory. Tuesday's game was another intense extra inning battle for the Reds. This one went 11 innings as opposed to Monday's, which went 10 innings. And the Reds once again were able to defeat the Marlins by a final score of 10-8. The heroes in this one, Johnny Gomes with a home run, Scott Rowland with 2 home runs. Jay Bruce thought that he had a home run, only to have it reversed by the umpires. That's the first time I've seen the baseball replay rule used where it actually reverses a call as far as the game I personally watched. So that was really interesting. But yeah, an intense 11 inning battle. Bronson Arroyo was lights out for most of the game, but then he ran into some trouble and he just deflated himself, and the Reds actually blew a 6-1 lead. And as I said, ended up battling back and getting that battling the Red Legs mentality, as it's becoming known in Reds country, to get a victory, 10-8. And the thing that cannot be understated about Tuesday's affair was the work of Micah Owings. Micah Owings comes in and throws another 2 outstanding innings of shutout baseball in relief. That coinciding with the game earlier last week against the Cubs, the game in which Drew Stubbs had the grand slam home run in the 8th for the victory. Owings threw 3 shutout innings of relief in that ballgame, which leads us into yesterday's affair, Wednesday's affair. And unfortunately, the winning streak has been snapped as the Reds were on the frowning side of the scoreboard in this one by a final score of 5-3. This one, yet another extra inning affair, but the Reds on the short end of the stick. Hunter Wallstat, the Marlins starter, just looked almost unhittable at times. The Reds hitters had a real problem picking up the ball out of his hands. And Homer Bailey last night just did not look good. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He did not look good. He didn't look all that good in his first start. I know he's young, and I know he'll come around. I know he's got a great future. But right now, he's definitely not the best arm that the Reds have. So hopefully, he'll be able to turn his fortunes around. See ya for Thursday's game.